Hey guys, it's Adam here. So, like a year ago or a year and a half ago, most people would have considered automating 80% of the work a massive win, right? So, if we'd said, like, it will draw 80% of that picture you want drawn or produce 80% of the code that you need done, that would be like a massive game changer, could put people out of jobs. We would say, we're right on the path to the correct future. But now we realize, like, that's not exactly how it's turned out. In Midjourney or DALI AI, if it generates you an amazing picture that you ask for, some people in a park, you'll notice the artifacts. Maybe there's like 12 fingers, there's some like illogical stuff in the background, like maybe someone's leaning on something in midair. The writing will make no sense. And so, whilst the picture itself is a masterpiece and is certainly 80% done, the remaining 20% still requires an expert to do, right? Like that 20% of work is almost the same as doing the whole thing over again anyway, because that person needs to match the art style. They need to know like how they're going to edit it. They're using Adobe Photoshop. Is it blemishes? They need to analyze the picture for the inconsistencies. It's not just like, oh, that guy's got 12 fingers, I'll make them have 10 fingers, right? There's a degree of analysis that these artists need to go through. And so in some cases, not all cases, but in some cases, you may as well just do the whole thing over again, right? Now, the same is with code, right? Like if I ask ChatGPT to produce me the full end-to-end web server for a web application, it might produce me this really good thing that hangs together mostly, but it's the parts where it fails. It's the parts that needs fixing that causes the issue. I can't just throw junior engineers at that because you need to know the whole architecture and framework, right? Like these things might be Django or like a sort of complex, framework with back-end, front-end database, cloud integration, right? So it's not like rarely it's something simple. If it was something simple, then we would be like this, just like this close to complete and utter automation. What we've actually got is we've got something that's not. It's almost more damaging than it is good. Now, the problem here is that because it so let's draw a line under that. Let's be really clear what I'm saying here for people so they don't freak out. I'm not saying that generative AI sucks. What I'm saying is, in many of the cases, you're not going to get your full project done for you. And sometimes the effort that you need to invest to push it to that final 20% is hours, days, months. It's a lot more than you think because that 20% still represents all of the skill sets, all of the knowledge, and all of the experience that went into making that, right? So it's rarely a case of, oh, I just, turn these last few bolts. So moving forward, like, what does that actually mean, right? The first thing is that the it's pointless for individuals like ourselves to focus on getting that final 1, 2, 3%, right? Because OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, all of these massive companies, Amazon, they're investing billions, right? Like those servers and GPUs there's tens of thousands of them, millions of pounds of investment, and hundreds and thousands of staff to move that needle from 82% to 83%. You're not really going to move that forward with your MacBook and a couple of GPUs. What I think, if you do want to work in this area and if you do want to ride this wave, like any gold rush, sell shovels, right? So rather than try to nudge that forward 2 or 3%, is work on automating the bits that can be automated, like the low hanging fruit. To use a really grim, maybe a sort of distasteful analogy, is the places where that has worked is the places such as like generative porn, right? And the reason is because generative porn, the audience base is mostly males. And we're very focused visually on a couple of aspects. So if the sort of curtains aren't exactly right, or if there's a little bit of detail in the background that doesn't quite fit, it's often overlooked because the bar of quality is as low as it possibly could be for a product. So there are companies that make money from that. The point I want to make there is there are companies that they smooth over the blemishes, they patch over the sort of bad art and fix that. And but those are the things in the areas where the quality of customer expectation is so low that, well, like If you couldn't do it in that space, you won't be able to do it in any other space. So what I'm saying is like, just because the product generation from generative AI is extremely high quality does not mean you can operate on that level and patch over that remaining 20% whilst they try to fix it on their end. What I'm more saying is you need to focus again with this expert cohort and build out expert tools to patch that over. So simple automation and simple patchwork won't get you to the final solution and to tie that AI over the line, which is why we've seen this slowdown with these GPT for alls, auto GPTs. So all of these like amazing harnesses that was going to, automate everyone out of work. Why it hasn't come to fruition is because precisely of this expertise gap is what I'm trying to draw out. I know it's really hard to get your head around, but anytime generative AI creates something, it's creating something from a deep well of knowledge that they've stolen, right? That they've copied and they've tried to generalize. So they've generalized it to that point. It doesn't mean the remaining work is 20%. That just because it's done 80% of the apparent work, the actual remaining work is not 20%. It may as well be 100% if you lack those expertise. I hope this made sense. I appreciate there's a little bit of repetition in what I'm saying, but it's a point that not many people get, certainly not AI experts. It's more for people who are experts in the domain of the thing that's being replicated or generalized. And I think they can see it, but they don't have this knowledge of how AI generalizes. So I think it takes a little bit more to see the picture. Once you see that picture, hopefully it will steer your business or your product generation in the right place. If you've got any, give me some questions, give me some like feedback. Like, does this work? Let me know what your thoughts are, and then hopefully I can do more of these. So thanks for watching.